Hey everyone. I am currently hanging out at my mom's house. I worked from home twice this week and then wasn't really feeling too hot yesterday. I had that weird sore muscle thing that affects every literal muscle or tissue in my body, and I can feel it coming on. It usually starts up in the head region and just kind of slowly, gradually goes down. And it feels like I've been either working out super hardcore or somebody's punched me in the stomach and the arms and the cheeks and my teeth and my hair. And it just is, when these days happen, I know it's a lot of it is from the infusions. Hey, Bailey, get down. Sorry. Sorry. The dog's just getting into shit. Um, so yeah, I had my infusion last Friday. Unfortunately, um, my levels are down. So I think either when I had the infection in my leg from my injection or the pericarditis just kind of triggered it, and I lost about half of my immunity storage. So I was lucky because Dr. Sear, who is my immunologist, was there at the clinic that day. So he agreed to see me for two reasons. One, to talk about a plan, and two, just kind of monitor my blood pressure, because it hasn't happened in two infusions, but I've had infusions where my blood pressure has gone up drastically. I think it was 189 over 130 something at one point. So he came over just to see me, and I felt fine. I had a bit of a headache, but nothing more than normal. So they're not going to treat it. So let's just, the plan was to keep the infusion going at a slower rate. And I would monitor my blood pressure at home when I got home. And since I've been home, it's been fine. So I don't really have too many concerns. I think it's just my body's way of saying, hey, what are you putting in me? I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hard time for a little bit, and then, you can go on your merry way, kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I was there all day Friday, literally from 7:45 in the morning until just when they were closing up at 3:30. There was no way that I could have gone to work that day, and oh man, it just kills me on those days. So the plan, because my immunity storages are low, I am going to be getting two infusions in March. So they do them back to back. So it'll be a Thursday, Friday. I'll start super early so that hopefully I can get out of there as quick as possible. I'm hoping that there's nothing going to happen with my blood pressure. I might take some extra meds before I go just to kind of keep it down and whatever, because I really got to go to work afterwards. So I've been doing a lot of thinking, and because of the fact that I will need two infusions a month now, I have to consider very seriously doing my own infusions at home. It scares me because, a nurse will come and teach me how to do it. And I'm not worried about the technical aspect of it. I do worry about the medical part of it, right? My gosh, what happens if something happens? Or, just I have tons of questions floating around my brain, and I can't keep any of them straight, because I had always said I would never do home infusions for a few reasons. Number one, I have a lot of scar tissue in my abdominal region, and trying to get a needle into the proper placement, even though it's sub Q, is going to be very, very difficult. And, you know, I didn't want, I didn't want, like, my worlds were colliding, like in Seinfeld. I just, I wanted to keep it kind of separate, but now I have to realize that that's not, an option. So, the other thing that I want done, I mean, not as a compromise, but, as a, hey, I've been doing this for a while now and I need to figure something else out. I've had my pick line in since August. I've only had really 1.5 issues with it, and I call it a half issue because they were able to fix it the same day. Took a little bit longer, but um, I wanna, I don't want that in anymore. I mean, until I get further instructions on how to get different access, I really want to port a calf. So they would be able to take the pick out. I could go swimming. I could have a shower. I don't need to cover it. It's not something that needs to be sterile in the interim such as this. I would still need to do like weekly flushing and all that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't even have to worry about doing dressing changes like I do with my pick. So um, I would really, really, really like to have a port. The big thing I know that they're going to say is that, uh, with the PICC line, there is a risk for blood clots, and it's significantly more with the Portacath. But if you're flushing with heparin, and I'm on heparin, a heparin derivative, every day, so I mean, really, why not, right? Like, I think it would be easier. And if, I am looking into the future and I am talking about like traveling and stuff like that, then I mean, I can't travel with a pick. I don't want to go to, say, Dominican Republic and have an infection in my pick, or it falls out, or the dressing gets really, really bad. I mean, I know I could teach my mom how to do the dressing, but it's a sterile field and I wouldn't feel comfortable traveling with that. So we'll see about that. And when I have my appointment with Dr. On Thursday, I'm going to bring that up and see if he can set it up, because he seems to have a pretty good handle on things. And I trust that if I ask him to do something, he should be able to get it done relatively quickly. So yeah, I also got a notice alert from the government this morning too about immunodeficient patients in COVID-19, like just about the extra risk that we have in dealing with, an immunodeficiency disorder, and something right now that is a global pandemic. Um, I just wash your face, keep your hands away from your face, wash your hands, a million times a day if you have to. Carry hand sanitizer, masks. I wear them because I don't want to get sick from other people, which somehow I've managed to get a little bit of a cold. But other than that, like, there's nothing really that you can do. So as somebody who's immunocompromised, I will hanker down and I will not go out. It's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. So, yeah. So that's the medical stuff. I could choose to do my infusions a couple of days a week, or I can choose to do it like on an all-day Saturday. I haven't figured out what would be better. The only thing that I'm thinking of is if I have to stay in Kitchener overnight for whatever reason, if I have to, God, I can't even think of, like, if I have to work late, or something comes up that I can't leave work long enough or in time enough to run like a 4-hour infusion. Like, it just, that kind of stuff I have to figure out. I have a feeling I'm going to end up on, a Saturday or Sunday just chilling or cleaning or carrying an IV pole with me with a pump and all that stuff. They give you that with the start of your at-home infusions, which I will definitely be vlogging for sure, as well as hopefully like the day of taking the pick out and putting the port in. So the port, oh, I dropped you guys, sorry. No, all right, I don't know what I've done here, but anyways, so the port would be, so my pick right now is here on my right arm. It's just hiding up in there. And then the port would be right here. I was saying to my mom, like, luckily I am a thicker girl because you won't really be able to see it. People who are really, really thin, you can see it pretty significantly. But yeah, right there would be kind of where it would sit, and easy access, just a quick poke. They don't hurt at all. So yeah, my battery's dying. We will see how it goes on Thursday. I am a little bit nervous. I haven't seen Dr. On in probably, well, it's coming up to the anniversary of when I was diagnosed in April. So April, May, probably June-ish. I haven't, yeah, since June, I guess. He's a very nice man. Oh my goodness. I have said this a million times. I am just so blessed to have the team that I have, and someone who is always looking outside the box, which I think is super, super important when it comes to rare diseases and the treatment path that maybe hasn't been walked a lot, but could be, something that changes my life. So I will update you guys over the next couple of days about everything. I've done a lot of research on this new medication. There's not a whole lot because it was just approved by the FDA, but their clinical trials and practices look really promising. And if I can even replace, the prednisone, which, oh my goodness, I am going to celebrate the day that I finish that prescription. I have never had so many side effects from one medication in my entire life. I am so hopeful, and it will replace the prednisone. Sorry, my eyes are closed. I'm trying to think. Prednisone, colchicine, and the azathioprine. So that's 3 medications for one. I don't know if Trillium covers it or not, so I do have to call, or I can talk to the pharmacist on Monday and see if it's covered at all, or if they have like a compassion program, something like that. So I'll be looking into that to see what is kind of going on. So a couple of people have asked me like why I have been avoiding my house, and I'm not. I've just, I know that sometimes when I'm going through things, and there's a lot of stuff going on right now with my grandma, she's not doing great. I'm worried about my mom as like, a secondary issue to my grandmother not doing well. And just like just little things, and they all kind of get to me sometimes, and I don't feel well, which I haven't felt not well for a while. And I'll sometimes I just don't want to be alone, right? Like, so I stay at my mom's. So, um, even though sometimes, like, I'll be in the bath, I'll have a bath. She has a huge bathtub, if anyone knows. Everyone knows I come to my mom's house to have a bath. Um, but I mean, I can spend 3 hours in there watching YouTube videos or sleeping or whatever, and I still feel like I had a good visit with my mom, even though we weren't sitting there staring at each other the whole time, which sometimes happens. So we just, I can just come over and exist and, play with the dog and all that stuff, and not have to worry about the house because the cats are taken care of. Like, there's nothing really to do there. I just, sometimes I just don't want to be alone. And um, I think that's almost why I stayed in Kitchener like that week or whatever, because I didn't want to go home to like an empty house. And, now that I have a tenant, it's a little bit better because there's some background noise and whatnot, but it doesn't replace having somebody physically there. And I mean, me and my mom can talk all day, all night, never run out of things to say. Sure, we have, disagreements on, certain things, but it's, we've never fought. Like, we've never had like an issue that way. And, I don't bug her when I stay here. It's not like I'm, a kid who needs to be either entertained or, you know, not left to their own devices or whatnot. So um, it just works out well that way. Anyway, video's longer than I thought it was going to be. If you have any questions or anything at all, please leave it in the comments below. Today's Saturday, so we're not going to do much. We were going to go to the theater, but I don't know if my muscles could handle sitting in a chair for that long and not being able to stretch and move and stuff. So I think we're just gonna make spaghetti and watch a movie or something. So thanks for listening, guys. It's always therapeutic when I come up and I need to, do some verbal diarrhea just to kind of get stuff out of here and sometimes out of here. But yeah, I thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Peace.